Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. Welcome back to Dis-Cember. Whatever. Today is Wednesday. So once again, we talk about whatever floats the boat, and we're going to talk about Encino Man from 1993. Uh, Shut up, stupid. Uh, yeah, and you may be saying, Scotty, this isn't a Disney movie. Well, technically, it is owned by Disney. See, as I said last year, I'm counting Touchstone Pictures and Hollywood Pictures under the Dis-Cember banner. So you're gonna get this, and you're gonna get maybe one more movie. There's another movie I kind of want to talk about too. I don't know if I've decided to. Let me look for a second. I could put it here because I'm not married to Disney's Dinosaur. Or I could put it on Christmas. Disney's Dinosaur or Mr. Magoo, which one I can take off and switch for another one. I kind of want to watch Mr. Magoo to kind of see, because I've only seen that once. I don't know. May just take the place of Disney's Dinosaur. But anyway, we're not worrying about the other movie I'm going to do. We're talking about Encino Man. This is one of two Pauly Shore movies I'll be covering this month. Yes, there's the other one. If you think real hard, you can figure out what the other one is. That is also done by Hollywood Pictures. But that'll be later this month. So the story of Encino Man is that two teenage friends, played by 25-year-olds, find a caveman in one of their friends' yards while he's digging up a hole for a pool. And he thaws out and they bring him to school, and it's a fish out of water story with a caveman. I've always loved this movie. Man, I don't get the hate for this movie. I love it. It's very 90s. You watch this, it's very 90s because they're teaching him about culture. So he's learning things that are very 90s centric. The music, the clothes, the hair, the style, everything is 90s. So it's very much in that 90s, the early 90s vestige of blah, right? We have a cast. We have a pretty good cast. Like I said, it's Sean Astin, Pauly Shore, Brendan Fraser, another DeLuise. I didn't mean to do two DeLuise movies in a row, but we have Michael DeLuise here playing Mr. Shush Matt in this. He's sort of the villain, the bully type character. Richard Madger is the dad in this. Not only the actress who plays Robin, but she is. I mean, she's like older than me now. I was 93. I was like 6. So she is way too old for me. She's probably old enough to be my mom. You think about it, because they're 25-year-olds. But like, yeah, she's old enough to be my mother, but she's hot. She hot. Is this okay? I need to look at the date, because if I'm saying the wrong date, let's see. I don't see it anywhere. I don't see a date on it. I don't see a date. So we actually start the movie in caveman times. There's a caveman going to the cave, the ice age is upon them, and then we cut to present-day Encino, California, where Dave, played by Sean Astin, is digging up his yard to put in a pool. Now, you may be asking, why is he doing this? Well, apparently they can't afford to put in a pool, so he's going to dig the hole himself so that they can put in a pool. But I'm pretty sure once he's done digging a hole, he's just got a big-ass hole in his yard, because they'd still have to pay people to put the stuff in unless Dave's going to buy the stuff himself, which, if you're going to do that, just pay people to put it in there for you. And I don't know. His buddy Stoney is there too. And yes, that is a pot reference. I'm the stony crusty dude. You know. And he's played by Pauly Shore, and he's just Pauly Shore. This is not an act. This is Pauly. I'm a weasel. He's just. I'm sure Pauly Shore had no script. Just be yourself. He said, just be Pauly Shore. Is probably what they said. Right? Well, there is an earthquake which uncovers a caveman. Now, so we learn from a school activity that Dave has a crush on a girl named Robin, who he grew up with, but for some reason, well, in some scenes, she doesn't want anything to do with him, and in other scenes, she's fine with him. Like, at one point, she seems disgusting, and another point he comes in and goes, "Miss me?" She goes, "Of course." And I'm like, was there two? Did they film one way and then take some scenes out and refilm them different? I don't know. I don't know. We also meet her boyfriend, Matt, the bully. Because, of course, you need a bully. But this is the 90s where bullies, well, they're invented in the 80s, but the 90s, they were fraught. Yeah, that's a word. Fraught with bullies in their movies and TV shows, man. I mean, look at some of the classic bullies of the 90s. We got Iron Mike, or Pit Stain, Open Face. All from The Adventures of Pete and Pete, by the way. Those bullies. And then you got other bullies like, okay, I remember only Pete and Pete. I don't know. Kenny and Cal didn't have a bully. There was bullies and everything. See, it's hard when you're on the spot to think of something like that unless you got to write it down. But, yeah. This is your typical bully character. He, because Dave is sort of hitting on Robin, and he's like, no, you don't do that. You know, you what it may. Henry Bowers, is another bully. But, technically takes place in the 60s. We're talking about that. But yeah. And so he staples Dave to the wall and leaves him hanging there. He pulls the fire alarm and leaves him hanging there. So Dave and Stoney come home and they find the caveman. We go around the house. It's like mud markings all over the place. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about here is Dave immediately goes to the garage where they have the caveman laying in there. So first of all, didn't lock the garage. What if one of his parents went in there and saw that? Second thing, he goes in, he sees all the melted water, and he goes, it melted him. Okay. Even millions upon millions a year old, bones are not going to melt like that. A lot of people say that the bones will actually be preserved in ice. Plus, you already looked at it and saw that he's pretty much still together, right? No, the fire alarm goes off and they realize he's in the house, right? So they go in, they find him trying to make fire. that way. And yeah, they get bath, haircut, very 90s looking. Dress him up like Stony. I'm just like the. He basically becomes a Stony 2.0. Stop yawning at this point, basically. Like, no. So, the problem with Dave in this movie is not only does he want to be with Robin, he wants to be popular. Because here's the thing, I forgot to mention this. He tells Stoney, don't tell anyone. Stoney's like, can I tell this dude? No, no one. Immediately goes to school and says, hey, Robin, I got a caveman in my garage. And she's like, I don't think I'm ready for a caveman. So she won't come see him. Then he decides to bring him to school. Now, for some reason, Dave says, we can't tell anyone he's a caveman or they'll want to study him. And I'm like, but you just blabbed to Robin about a caveman. And by the way, Robin is not as smart as she looks because Dave tells her about a caveman and then shows up the next day with some new guy that popped out of nowhere. She didn't put two together. Also, the very flimsy excuse they give to his parents for how Link, is his name Link, Linkovich Chamovsky, to get him to stay there is beyond me. How it works, I don't know. It's so flimsy. They're like, oh, come in and meet your new family. What new? Whose new family? And he's like, this is Linkovich Chamovsky. He's like, oh, don't you remember I mentioned the student exchange program or whatever? You know, he's coming to stay with us for a while. No one ever listens to me. And then it's like, you know what? I do remember. And I'm like, no, that would not, no. No real parent would be like, oh, wait a minute, I think I do remember something. The mom doesn't remember anything about it because it never happened. But also, with a foreign exchange program, you have to go over there. So if Link is coming to stay with your family, you would have to go stay with his family, Dave. But they don't know. But it works, I guess. He likes the dog. He eats the fly. Meet group. Because earlier they took him to, Stoney takes him to like a mini mart type thing, a gas station. They peruse the gas station. He shows them, all the groups that are within that plane of, like candy bars and candy and microwave burritos. It's a very realistic portrayal of a burrito because the burrito is a wondrous thing. It's a magical food item where you can burn your lip on the first bite and then chip your tooth on the second bite on a frozen bean. Because that's how burritos work. Hot on the outside, still frozen on the inside. And just like this burrito is here, but Link still eats it because, according to Stoney, oh yeah, that's what you're used to. So he was frozen in ice for millions of years, but it doesn't mean... Sure. They cook their food. He knows how to make fire. You saw it. Good thing. By the way, does that actually work? When you take the stick, you put it on a piece of wood, and you go like this. And does that actually work? Because I don't know. I was a Cub Scout for a hiccup because my mom didn't like the people in charge. Didn't make it that far. But, yeah. Like I said, David's trying to get popular. That's all he cares about. He also only cares about Robin. But also Robin's friend, played by Robin, Tunney, has a thing for Link. That goes nowhere. Not really. No. Also, they go to the soundtrack, and it's pretty good. You got Stone Cold Crazy by Queen, but it's mostly instrumental. So Stone Cold Crazy, alive, do. That's it. When they go to Six Flags, wherever it is that they go. somewhere, right? Just, you can't take him there, you can't do this. Like, you're parading him around school, but he's not allowed to hang out with Stoney. Well, then he starts talking like Stoney. I'm talking like you too. Oh, right. Then you have the scene at the ice rink, whatever it's called. They show up, and again, David's talking to him. He's like, "Hey, we were naked together when we were kids," and he carries around a picture of he and the girl he has a crush on as kids, butt ass naked, which means he looks at this picture. You know he has a crush on. He has looked at this picture. He has a crush on Robin. He's looking at this picture. Tell me that's not weird. That he's carrying this around. Oh no, it's yours. Take it. And if I was her, I would burn that, right? But then Matt interferes, and this is where I guess I could be iffy with this scene, but I understand why they did it. They very much could have went the route of what the logical approach would be in this situation. So Matt has Dave, and Link has had enough. He hates Matt because Matt had a conversation with him earlier. And so he goes out there, he's ready to fight him. In my estimation, in my thought process here, he's a caveman. He should just go nuts off of him. Like, just thrash him around, right? He gets hurt. Matt is a rich stuck-up boy. There's like a, they're going to deport him to Estonia, and then they got to figure out what to do, something like that. I don't know. They didn't go that route. Honestly, just a thrashing would throw that guy. But he can't have his comeuppance till the end of the movie, which the comeuppance he gets is really nothing. Kick and punch, really. Shush! Like, I don't know. But no, he punches Link, and Link's just like, walks off. And Stoney tries to explain, like, he's a pacifist, man. He's a pacifist, bud. Pacifist. Yeah, cavemen were different back then. I'm pretty sure no caveman was a pacifist ever. I mean, but sure. If you don't know, pacifist means that he refused to fight. But yeah, then so like they go on a school trip. This is where the movie kind of turns on its head. Not in a bad way. Because this scene is really good. They go on a school trip. Talk about Cro-Magnon man, and then Link finds out what happened to his cave people, and he breaks down. Unfortunately, Matt happens to see this breakdown, so he begins investigating. And when they sneak into the school, look at the files, Dave and Stoney have put the dog's veterinary files in there. Are you telling me the principal didn't look at those? Are you telling me nobody looked at those? They just got away with that? Unless they snuck them in there. I don't know. Yeah, he's fake. Yeah. We got the driver's ed class. This is where the movie kind of feels like we need to burn out time. Again, this is not bad, but it feels like we need to burn out time here. So they have Link and Robin in this driver's ed class. Stoney and Dave freak out and are just able to run out of class. No one stops them. They run all the way out there. All four of them end up in the driver's ed car and drive down to the Spanish portion of California, where they go to this bar. A bunch of Mexicans are there. Yeah. And Stoney gets shit-faced on tequila. You're like, where's the worm? That's tequila? Where's the worm? Looking at the worm, you see? No, I'm not a worm, I'm a weasel. And, yeah. I do like, because that guy's like, hey, let me tell you something, okay, Holmes? You see her? You see that one right there? Don't look at her, you see? You see her? No, no. Well, she's mine, you see. Nobody touches her, you see. You know? And then Link ends up, he's like, hey. He says it in Spanish, like, what'd I tell you? He's saying it in Spanish. Of course, they had a Spanish class earlier, so he only knows how to say, the cheese is moldy, and where is the bathroom? In Spanish. And apparently that translates to this guy. Well, you're right, she's not worth it, you see. Yeah. And then Link drinks salsa. Spicy salsa. And then immigration comes, and Sony and Robin get out, but Dave and Link do not. And then they're in jail overnight, and they're able to leave the next day. Question. I'm pretty sure they would ask for ID. And also fingerprint. Which means when they fingerprint Link, nothing is going to come up. He has no ID, his fingerprints won't register, and they just let him walk out of the police station the next day. Bullshit. For the purposes of the movie, we have to. Dave uses his one phone call to call Robin to ask her to prom. And she says she wants to go with Link because we have to have our existential crisis for Dave, where he's like, well, you know what? This dude's trying to steal my girl. Fuck him. And so he decides he's going to drive him out to the woods and leave him there. For some reason. Stoney catches up. So at one point, when Link had his breakdown, they said, we're family. We're your new family. So here, when Stoney and Dave start fighting, Link comes back and he's like, family. Then they overdub family because he's phrases like Disney, family. So they're all cool again, I guess. And he just lets Stoney go to prom, or Link go to prom, excuse me. Matt has broken into Dave's house and stolen the Polaroids because he somehow knew where to find them. I get looking in Dave's room. Why wouldn't Dave have a safe or something to put him in? So he plans to expose Link to the entire school. So with Dave and Stoney and Doe, they were drinking wine. Okay. And there's another earthquake that happens while they're gone because it's California. But so at the prom, Matt shows up and he tells everyone that Link's a caveman, and everybody's just like, yeah. And then Robin looks at it and she's like, really? And this is where it's like, okay, he's a caveman, so I don't like him anymore, I guess, because she's like with Dave. And just, but like, we see like Dave Link spins him around and throws him through a table because they showed him wrestling moves earlier, and he gets kicked all over him, and Stoney pours the punch on him and goes, swish! And then they all dance to the, you wanna feed the monkey, you wanna feed the monkey. That sounded a little dance, I like that. It was weird because I had to go pee around that time, and I came out and they were doing it, so I just could have did it. Only I'm not wearing a belt, so I couldn't keep up because my pants were going to fall down, so it was really weird. It's more comfortable without a belt. I'm not there, I'm just sitting here, you know what I mean? But, yeah. So then, Dave's dream comes true of hosting a pool party after the prom, even though he was nowhere near finished, and that is very nasty, muddy water that everyone's jumping in, but fine. Also, the parents never find out about this as far as we know, and Dave and Robin kiss, and that's the end of Dave in this movie. Say goodbye to Dave, because the fire alarm goes off again. And Stoney and Link find Link's girlfriend, cave girlfriend, and she's already in the bathtub with Bubbles. How did she know how to do that? Then Link jumps in, and they kind of laugh with each other, and then she shows her all 90s out, and Sony makes a comment about her, and then he goes, sheesh, and then, he hugs her, and then the movie ends. It's really a non-ending, really. Sure, it's like, oh, Dave got what he wants. Now let's give Link what he wants. What does Stoney get? Tequila? I don't know. I don't know, but I really do enjoy this movie, and I'm gonna give it a very high, pretty good. Tomorrow we're going to dig into the classic Disney with Throwback Thursday. But for now, what are your thoughts on Encino Man? Let me know in the comments. Should I like, share, and subscribe? Thanks for watching. I'm Scott, and I'll see you in the next one.